Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers and the long-promised haul video. Went to the flea market yesterday. Now this will be posting probably a week from now, but went to the flea market and was feeling a little bit sluggish because I actually had my first COVID shot. And if you've had COVID before, then generally the first shot kicks your butt, and it was no exception. I was a little bit feverish afterwards, wasn't feeling overly well, but thank goodness random neighborhood kid is learning how to drive. He was able to drive down and needed some dumb labor, so brought him along. Of course, the heaviest box of all I ended up having to carry, so I guess maybe I'm the dumb labor after all. Some great deals, a lot of stuff. Prices were absolutely right. I spent $108 for everything that you see, including these couple of things over here that are maybe going to detour into my collection along the way. But some really interesting deals and a couple of different negotiating tactics, one of which I'd never used before, and it just kind of happened, so I'm going to definitely use it in the future. Walked in, started walking around. First table, lady had these. Now, these are nothing special. Green Lantern comics, whatever. Absolutely nothing special at all. But she said, I don't know, there was probably 12, 15 of them there. She said, I just need to get rid of everything. Take them. And I said, I don't take anything. She goes, okay, $1. Now, these are nothing special whatsoever, but when you can pick out 15 comic books for $1, I'm fairly sure I can lot them together and make more money than that. So sometimes you just got to buy stuff that you don't really want because the price is absolutely right on them. Heading on in there, I've never even actually looked through this box beyond the first 4 or 5 items. Guy had these newspapers, which actually some of the old newspapers do sell, and I saw some titles that, you know, St. Louis Globe-Dispatch, which is not common around Rochester, things like this. And I started looking through there, and the guy said, take the whole box for $8. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, you got to go through everything, At $8 for this box of newspapers, I mean, I'm assuming there's newspapers all the way down. You can't possibly go wrong. Be a lot of fun going through and listing as well, and it'll help spur sales of others. So a lot of people will say, go through everything. Completely disagree. Case in point, these comic books. And this leads into a negotiating tactic that I didn't even realize existed, yet I was able to use it without knowing it. So was kind of going through there. A gentleman wanted $1 a piece for these comics, and I don't know what there are. There are 100 comics, 120 comics, something other like that. So I started going through there, and I found, 6, 7 of them that I wanted, and I was only this far into the box. And he starts talking to me about comics and collecting comics, et cetera, et cetera. And he asked me if I sold comics, and I said, well, really, I more or less collect, and I really don't sell. And by that, I meant I do sell a lot of comics, but I don't sell things out of my collection if I like it. And he said, really? He said, that's, I've never heard of that before. Everybody has to sell to buy new things. I said, let's just say that you told me $25 for this entire box. I said, well, I'm picking the comics out that I want. The rest of them I would end up selling. And he goes, okay, I would do that. I said, what? He goes, $25 for the box, take it. So I only went through about this much of it and had found a bunch of things that I wanted. So for $25 for this entire box, there is no possible way I can go wrong. Just lots of different comic books in there. And, again, I don't even know what the heck is in here. Price was absolutely right on it. Some stuff, newer stuff, colorless stuff. I don't even know what was in here. But again, at that price, you can't possibly go wrong on these. But that is an interesting tactic that I'd never done before, and I may try that in the future. Throw out the supposition of buying it at a cheap price, and you may be surprised because you're not really making them an offer, yet they may take it as you're making them an offer. Couple of other comic books picked up over here. Classics. These do sell. They don't sell for big money, but you can find them out there regularly, and they do sell regularly. Most of them, these are highest reorder number. If you don't do the classics, on the backs or sometimes the inside, there will be what they call highest reorder number. And if the number, generally speaking, matches the number on the front, so like this is 94, highest reorder number 167. So this is probably from 1967, 68, something like that. But that's how you can tell a first print and that kind of thing. So hopefully that helps you because you will see these out there. These are common, but I didn't pay much for them at all, and they'll go for $5 to $7 a piece. The usual magazines, True, Ingalls Home Magazine. Couple of programs, which sometimes are good. And the funny thing about it is I bought the program, and then the guy said somewhere or other in here are the tickets. He he said, oh, you're buying those, you need the tickets too. And he threw the tickets in, which are sitting around here somewhere. So you can't argue with those. Another thing that's probably going to take a little bit of a detour into my collection, but it's really, really neat, are Good Odds Football. And these are basically illegal parlay cards from 1949, October 22nd, October 29th, et cetera, when Harvard was giving 7 points to Holy Cross and Notre Dame was giving 34 points to Navy. Kind of neat. I mean, oh, well, I just said they're illegal parlay cards. They're not, because right here on the back it says, this card is not to be used in violation of any laws, so it must be just for entertainment purposes. Anywho, kind of a neat item. I paid $2 a piece, but then I got a discount because I bought other things. Who knows what they're worth? They're probably one of a kind because they were probably published or printed locally type deal. But kind of a neat little item over there. A few other items we got throughout, just miscellaneous ephemera, a few different hunting things, which ties into a lot of other hunting stuff that I have. Train stuff, I've got a lot of train stuff. West End Hotel Bombay, a luggage tag, which I didn't pay much for. I think $1.50, something rather like that. Can't argue with that. Know your ducks and geese, just more hunting stuff. If you do see anything at all with the War Savings Bond, these do sell. They go for about $10. I've had a bunch of them before. They are fairly common, but they do end up selling. Sometimes they have stamps inside. This does not. It's got a little water damage, but it'll still sell. Wasn't even sure what this was. Secrets for Men Only. Oh boy. Some kind of a time book. Again, I don't know exactly what it is, but it was $1, so it was very old for $1. A couple of other neat little things. Airlines, American Overseas Airlines. This is something else that I ended up picking up. Model T Ford 1913, Bolivar, New York, and it was from a raffle. Well, I figured it's going to get the Ford collectors and it's going to get the people from Bolivar, New York, and it's from 1913, so it's definitely, if not one of a kind. There's very, very few of these left. So that's kind of a neat little item that, you throw $20, $25 on it, and somebody from Bolivar is going to be interested in it, or a Model T collector is going to be interested in it. Italy, the reason I picked this up, Italy for your leisure, is it's 1939, which in 1939, given that the war was just getting set to start, I'm not sure how many people were going on leisurely trips overseas to Italy, but kind of a neat little item over there. Spelling contest. Never had one of these, never seen one of these before. I know that the spelling bees are still popular, so somebody out there collects those. Another train thing, Canadian National, with really great graphics on it. Again, going to highlight the graphics on it, take multiple pictures of it. That'll sell. Season's Greetings, which will be selling around Christmas time, but it's a neat little calendar. And it's, a complete calendar type deal. So just kind of neat over there on that over there. Put up by Exchange Bank, Personal Finance in Olean, New York. List that it's from Olean, New York as well. People would want that. So just kind of a neat little item there. Now this over here was an interesting item for $1. Now it's seen better days. Definitely seen better days. But it is the night before Christmas. Souvenir from Toyland and McCurdy and Company, which is a local department store. So even though it's not in the best of shape by any means whatsoever, you sit there and you list all of the damage on it, and you're still going to, with those pictures inside and everything like that, it's still going to go for $15 to $20 around Christmas time, no problem at all. And it'll also spur sales of other Christmas items. So well worth picking up for $1. Just put it aside, listed in October. I know a lot of people say that Christmas does sell all year round, and they're absolutely right on that. But I've got a few other things to list, so I might as well list the other stuff in the meantime. These are interesting as well. E. Hadelman Julius, they do the little booklets, like this size booklet with about 1,400 of them in there. Those do sell. Most of them sell for $5 to $8 a piece. There are some rarer ones that sell for a lot more. I've never seen the large-sized ones. When are girls promiscuous? Voyeurism, a form of sexual behavior. Sexual fear fixation, what to do about it. The modern sex book. So these are a little bit larger ones, and I got to do a little bit of research on them because I've never come across them. But I think I paid $1 a piece on them. So at that price, I know they're well. If the little ones are worth $5, and I've never come across the larger ones, no doubt at all they're worth it. These are kind of. I don't usually do photos. But that is a really neat looking photo over there. Not really sure the backstory on it. I'll put up a couple of pictures, think of a couple of really good things. Almost looks like he's wearing the puffy pirate shirt from Seinfeld. But I'll list that kind of thing. It's from Wellsville, New York. So somebody's going to end up wanting it. And if I could figure out the backstory behind it, it'll definitely sell. I think I paid $1 for it. So at that price for an interesting photo, well worth it. And these are things that I don't even know what is in here. They wanted $4 on this, and it's got a bunch of stuff in there from like an overseas trip. Looks like a menu of some kind from probably from a ship. This was $1. This number of items in it for $1. I don't even need to open it up and take a look. I see a lot of little cards. I see various things. It's all out of Olean. Just throw it all together in an Olean lot, Olean New York lot, and somebody or other is going to buy it. Application for 4th degree membership from a council. Definitely will end up selling. And again, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it'll sell. So I ended up buying these 3. Now it's from a gentleman that I've bought from before. In fact, I believe we have a haul video from a long time ago. He's a dealer who we definitely have a haul video because right when the pandemic started, I bought a lot of stuff from him, paid him $200 for everything. So I was thinking to myself, he'll probably ask $4 or $5 for these. I said, how much? And he goes, $8. Now, will I make money paying $8 for these? Yes, I most certainly will. No doubt whatsoever about it. They will sell. I'll do fine with it. But I really would have been a lot more comfortable paying $5 or $6 for them. But that raises the question, when do you negotiate? This isn't just a one-off. It's not just a dealer, it's not like I am visiting Washington State and there's a dealer there that I'll never see again. I see this guy all the time. In fact, he waved to me and said hello to me when I was walking by, and I walked in and talked to him, et cetera, et cetera. So what am I going to do? Get him down to $6 on it and save myself $2? Better to overpay on a small deal like this. And again, when I say overpay, I'm still going to do well. I'm still going to make money on it. But better to overpay on a small deal to keep the relationship going. And then on a larger deal, it gives me the opportunity, if I feel he's charging too much, to negotiate a little bit. Because if he thinks to himself, geez, Papergoy always comes by, he always tries to chisel me down a couple of dollars, he's going to be less willing to deal, or he's going to always ask a higher price type deal. So I would rather overpay by $1 or $2, because what's $1 or $2 in the bottom line? Not a lot on the small deals, and then work with them on the larger deals to save real money as opposed to saving $1 on a one-time deal. Last couple of things we bought over here. This is kind of a very, very neat item. In fact, I didn't even see it till the dealer pointed it out. Well, I saw it, but I wasn't sure what it was. But I had bought from the dealer, and then he said, hey, you should check this out. 1945 or 43, World War II, restricted, transient personnel. Any of this stuff from World War II does sell for 1945. People do buy this sort of thing over here. Usually you can get $20 to $25, maybe $30 out of it. I paid $3 out of it. But that's also another case where I had bought stuff from the dealer. He was the one that sold me the boxing and a few other of this miscellaneous paper stuff. And I said, how much is stuff? And it depends. I go, we've dealt before, which we have. I said, I'll just make a pile. You'll treat me right. I know it. And I'm easy and you're easy. I made a pile, and it was $30 on a pile, which was a good price. So more than willing to pay $3 for a $25 item from them, because they'll remember, hey, he always spends money. He always spends money. He always spends money. And I'm still going to make decent money on it. Last few things. Guy had books for $1 a piece. Better Gardening, which is kind of neat little item over there. It looks like 1920s or so from the looks of it. That'll sell. NASB letters. The only reason I bought this is because it's from Toledo Blade from the 1880s. Probably not worth a lot, but it's a local publication only. It wasn't, circulated nationally. You would have basically bought it around the Toledo area. So probably not a lot of demand for it. But on the other hand, for $1, I know it's well worth that. Couple of things over here. Got a religious book, Devout Instructions. A couple of things over here that have some condition issues, unfortunately. But at $1, it's well worth it if I can get these pages all apart and not damage too much and just note the damage on it. I only have $1 into it. In worst case, if I throw it out, I'm out $1. Ditto this. I've never seen this before. Dutch Boy Colored Guide for Painters. And again, the condition's not the best on this by any means whatsoever. But I'm going to try to salvage it. It's got dirt, which I noticed. It came out. So try to clean it up a little bit, salvage it. Worst case scenario, I can't, and I throw it out for $1. But for that, it's well worth it because there are a lot of paint collectors. We did an Instagram, which if you're not following us on Instagram, you really ought to. On these over here, Puppet Storybook with the lenticular covers. They definitely always do sell. Paid $1 on these over here. You can find these out there a lot of different places. You can find them at thrifts. I found them at estate sales, garage sales. So for at flea markets, obviously. So for $1, definitely pick these books over here up. They go for about $15 and they do sell. And then the last thing that I have here, and I kind of dreaded buying it just because at this point, Random Neighborhood Kids' hands were filled, which means I had to carry it. But they're $1 a piece from the 1880s. Not in the greatest of shape, but not terrible either. These were sold by subscription only. Catholic books, well done from back then. And I've sold these in the past when I used to do poor listings, and I would get $20 to $25 each out of them. I'm thinking now that I list a little bit better with multiple pictures, I should be able to get $35 to $40 a piece out of these over here. So well worth the time carrying that for $1 a piece. Just kind of a neat little books, and you can't go wrong at $1 because they probably were $10 to $12 back in the day in the 1880s, I would bet. So all in all, just a tremendous haul, a lot of really, really neat things, various things heading into a lot of the things I sell, the comics, the religious books, the newspapers, the Christmas stuff, which we'll list around Christmas time, just a lot of different things that'll spur sales of other things that I already have on as well. So do comment down below. Let me know if you're able to find treasures, if you've ever seen any of these things out there. And if you ever used any of those negotiating tactics that I have. Again, I know a lot of people always try to pay the least amount they can, but that's looking short term. Look long term, I gave him $8, I'm still going to make money, and he and I will deal many, many times in the future. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe. We'll see you next video.